Okay, now it's time to have a look at question 11 from the farming practice paper. So looking at the question straight away, hopefully light bulbs will be going on as soon as you see in your own words. You know that you're going to be finding quotes, you're going to be selecting short quotes, and you're going to be adapting words or phrases from those quotes into your own words. You should also know that anytime you're asked to summarise, you can use bullet points. So that's one of the first things that I'm going to do, is just set up my answer using bullet points. So number 1, and I'm looking for 5 main reasons that make catching sheep exhausting. Okay, so actually the main word here is exhausting. So I'm looking for 5 things that make it really hard work. Right, let's have a go. Catching sheep is exhausting even for a strong man. Okay, the animals are quick on their feet. Right, I'm going to highlight that because that's what makes it difficult, what makes it hard work. Yearlings particularly are lithe and strong. Even if I didn't know that lithe meant quite athletic, I'd still get the sense that these animals take some tracking down, take some catching. They can turn faster than a human, faint this way and that. Yeah, basically that's the key point. When they're packed tightly and cannot escape, it's merely a back-breaking question of stooping, grabbing and heaving. That sounds pretty exhausting to me, so I'm going to highlight that. But as you get through them, the remainder have room to duck and space to get up to speed. Okay, so that might be useful. The remainder have room, so as you kind of get through the number, it actually gets harder. Right. As you tire on your concentration flags, your first grab is often in vain. You follow up, but the animal you've missed once now is panicking, hurling itself over its fellows to avoid you. Right, that might be quite helpful. The idea of animals panicking. Doing it herself saves Jenny the cost of another helper. Not useful to our question, and allows her to catch, as she prefers to, as gently as possible. No, nothing here about the difficulties, rather than digging her fingers into their wool. She hates to see sheep held like that, imagining it must be dragged by the hair. No, nothing here about exhausting. That's out. No, men muzzle their frustration. No, she works all day in the narrow race. Okay, let's just highlight that in case we need that. Sounds like it's a long day, so that can be exhausting. In the narrow race, I'm guessing that must be the sort of pen that they're kept in. Talking to the beasts, trying to soothe them, straddling them, guiding towards the shearers. She sticks at it, and as her strength wanes, the shearers take pity. Reaching over into the race as she presents each captive, nothing there. Hauling them up and over the barrier. That's sort of similar to this back-breaking question of stooping, grabbing and heaving. First day is tying, but the next is a marathon. 193 ewes caught. Right, so we've got a really big number. Could that help us with the answer? Make catching sheep exhausting. Oh, hang on, I just need to check. Am I talking about just this bit? Catching sheep, not shearing. Right, let's have a look. Quick on their feet, that makes them hard to catch. Stooping, grabbing and heaving. Maybe not. That's once you've caught them. Remainder have room, yeah, that makes them difficult to catch. Panicking, that makes them difficult to catch. Works all day. No, that's not about catching. So I'm going to need, I think I might need something from this as well. Your first grab is often in vain. I'm going to get rid of this one. Okay, not useful to me. Right, let's start writing these out. So the animals are quick on their feet. That's my first point. I've got lots of synonyms for the word quick. So the sheep, instead of saying the animals, are fast and athletic, which makes them difficult to catch. I'm writing in full sentences, making sure I'm answering the question. Let's move on. Bullet point number 2. What I'd highlighted, as you get through them, the remainder have room. So as you get through them, I can't use that. I can say as the number of sheep left gets smaller, they have, no, I don't want to say more room. I've got to put that in my own words. They have a bigger space to move around in. Now, that answers the question. I don't need to use which makes them harder to catch again. I did that in my first one, so I'm pretty happy that I'm on track. Next one. We were talking about your first grab is often in vain. So as you tire and your concentration flags, your first grab is often in vain. So as you tire, need to put that in my own words. As you start to, don't really want to use the word tire. Okay, get tired, still different words. As you start to get tired, you first grab is in vain. That means you don't get it at the first go. So as you start to get tired, you miss the sheep with your first grab. But that doesn't really explain what makes it exhausting. So you have to try again and again. Okay, that makes it sound a bit more exhausting. Number 4. You follow up with the animal if you miss once. It's now panicking, hurling itself over its fellows to avoid you. Right. So if you do miss the sheep, now I don't want to use the word panicking. It starts panicking. If you do miss the sheep, it gets spooked and starts to jump around over the others. I think that's different enough. Let's just check. Hurling itself over its fellows to avoid you. Yep. Okay, how many have I got? I've got 4. Right. She works all day in the narrow race. Not sure that's what makes catching sheep exhausting. Although maybe she works all day, that would make it exhausting. So instead of saying working all day, the work or the job consists of very long hours, leaving the shearer exhausted by the end. So I've kind of used the word exhausted from the question, but not from here. And I'm pretty happy with those 5.